Hi, I'm Liz Parker Kuhn, Senior Editor, Candy Industry Magazine. Today we are talking to Nemrud Kurt, co-founder of Goodis. Thanks for being here today with us.
Thanks for having me.
To start out, what are some consumer trends and behaviors in the better for you candy category?
Well, when we started Goodis, we are two co-founders from Sweden and one from the US, New Jersey native, and it was always like, okay, but why Swedish candy? Like, why is this becoming popular? And I found some, explanations online, people saying that, yeah, Swedish candy is better than candy from the rest of the world. Why so? And the reason why it is like better for you, of course, if you compare it to a salad, it's not healthier than a salad. But if you compare it to other candies, it is actually better because it's clean. I mean, if you compare it to, let's say, American candy, you start to realize how different it is. It has no GMOs, it has no artificial dyes, no high fructose corn syrup. It's just a different philosophy. It's just a different kind of candy. And we've noticed that, Americans gravitate, so to say, towards that. They want something that feels like an upgrade, something that feels like a cleaner, healthier, alternative to what they have. Um, so, we have noticed that, and then from our side, it's also a matter of culture. I'm born and raised in Stockholm, and what we're doing is like we're giving every American a piece of the Swedish culture, like giving them a bite of Sweden, so to say. We mentioned this in several media platforms that we're not just selling candy. We want people to feel like a part of a culture, a European one, a Scandinavian one, a Swedish one, through tastes. So yeah, and some, when it comes to behavior, I've noticed that it's quite universal, so to say. It's like holidays, they hit hard. We have Thanksgiving, we have Black Friday, Halloween, Christmas, Easter, like people stock up. Of course, you have flavors like Bubs, which has become a phenomenon like all over the US. It's like a soft, chewy marshmallow type of candy that really stands out. And also, it's very normal to we see a pattern of like the sour, the tangy, like people like that one. And Yeah, so we try to always follow these trends and these behaviors and these patterns in order to give like every American what they want in terms of Swedish candy. But it's always like rooted in what people in Sweden like. And the reason we like what we like, candy wise, is that for us, it's just, it's always been a no-brainer that it's cleaner, so to say.
Okay, that makes sense. And then you kind of just talked about this, but a little bit. How does your company work to keep up with current consumer interests?
Well, trends, they move fast, especially in the US, especially in times of social media and TikTok and Instagram. Um, and, you can't completely understand America from Sweden. It's just the way it is. You simply can't. So we have one of our co-founders, is like head of sales there. So he's the one who walks into stores, he listens to customers. He scrolls TikTok at midnight, like keeping his finger on what's actually happening in the US market. Um, TikTok is actually one of the best indicators right now. Like if something is taking off, you will see it there basically first. Um, but for us, it's not just about watching these trends, it's about reacting to them. So you need to just, if you see something, if you see an American behavior, or if you see an American ask for something specific, if it's a flavor, a texture, or a certain mix, we try to adjust like our selections and our bags, or at least create a mix that matches that preference. And we try to stay updated, but I would say more importantly, I would call it we try to stay flexible based on what the market and the people want.
Okay. You just mentioned TikTok. My next question was going to be, what about keeping your finger on the pulse of emerging consumer taste trends? So things that are maybe like just starting out.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same there. We try to keep a balance between being like one of the firsts that, pushes something forward when we see that it's becoming a trend, but also it's not about jumping into every trend. So you need to stay, up to date while still keeping your head cool in some cases because, um, people are looking for something maybe with clean labels, maybe with less sugar, maybe with natural flavors, but you still need to be a bit strategic too. You can't just jump into every like pattern or every trend. So it's about keeping a balance there, I would say.
Okay. And then have you seen any notable innovations in the better for you category recently?
Well, I mean, apart from the fact that people want this cleaner candy that I keep talking about, we've seen that it's not all just about candy. I mean, if you ask me, Sweden has, if not the best, but one of the best chocolates in the world, Marabou. We're introducing that to more people now. We're also bringing in something different, which is dates from Dave and Jones. They have like crazy taste. It's like cinnamon buns, it's like chocolate ball, and all these combinations feel very Scandinavian. They're blowing up in Scandinavia. They're blowing up in Europe. We've also launched our EU store a few months ago. We saw basically the same trends there. Of course, the candy boom was bigger in the US, but um, to answer your question, we've seen that it's not only candy, it's also chocolate, but it's also like different stuff from Sweden and from Scandinavia and from Europe. Like we see that if something comes from Sweden or from Scandinavia, it has a bit of a feeling of quality and of um an authenticity, like a real feeling that this has high quality, and it truly is. I mean, for instance, if you walk into a restaurant here in Stockholm, I would say that the average restaurant is very good, and that's not because the Swedish cuisine is the best. It's because here, like the average needs to be high because there are a lot of regulations. There are a lot of like this is what you can do, this is what you cannot do. Like there's a lot of um, like penalties if you don't follow certain regulations. And this is a good thing because this means that it also affects the products. It also shows that the products need to have high quality, otherwise people won't buy them. So I would say like uh, from my perspective and from our perspective as a company, we see that as long as something comes from Sweden or from Scandinavia or even Europe, it's a good sign.
Okay, that makes sense. And then do you have any recent or upcoming better for you launches to share? Anything this year or early next year?
Yeah, I mean, apart from the dates that I was talking about, apart from like more chocolate, I would say, we have more things coming. We have other rabbits that we want to pull out of the candy hat in the near future. But a magician, I'm not a magician, but the saying goes, a magician can't always reveal his secrets. And like they say in one of my all-time favorite movies, The Prestige, is that the secret impresses no one. I mean, the trick you use it for is everything. So when it comes to trick or treat, in this case, I would say treat. But yeah, our lovely consumers and customers just have to wait a bit longer to early 2026 to find out what.
Okay. Have to be on the lookout on the shelves then. And my last question, what is your personal favorite Goodis product or flavor to enjoy?
My favorite one. As I said, I'm born and raised in Stockholm. We have this pick and mix concept where like every Saturday you have Saturday candy, which means that the family goes to the nearest supermarket and the kids get to pick and mix their candy. They basically just scoop and then you weigh it and then you pay based on weight. And that's what I've done since I was a kid and still do. And nowadays it's my job too to taste a lot of candy. Um, you'd think that as you grow older, like your taste becomes more sophisticated and you perhaps want these, darker chocolate or more like mature tastes. In my case, that's not the case. Every time I try something new, I think, okay, this might be the thing that makes me grow up in terms of taste, but I end up coming back to the same thing, the same taste I grew up with, the same one I always go back to, and that's actually the Swedish milk chocolate from Marabou. To me, it's the best chocolate. I still have a childish taste, and honestly, I'm completely fine with that. I would say the milk chocolate from Marabou.
Okay, that sounds good. I don't think I've ever had that, so I'll have to be on the lookout for that.
Yeah,
And that is all the time we have for today, but thanks again for being here with us.
thank you so much, Liz, and thanks for having us once again.